Wattbot here, and today I want to give a quick tutorial on how to get a quick and easy, fast and clean redirect page on your web server. So all you need for this is FileZilla and the ability to run PHP files on your server. So for this tutorial, I think I'm using XAMPP, but you can use whatever program you want, as long as it has the ability to run .php files. You can also use this on a dedicated server or a VPS server. I'll be showing you how to do this at the end, so skip ahead if you don't have a web server, just a VPS or a dedicated server. So yeah, we're going to connect to my personal website. Here you can see already I have a bunch of different redirects. So to create a redirect, all you need to do is, well, first off, you need to have obviously the web server, but you also have to have a functional htaccess file that isn't completely broken. By default, this should be fine. If not, then you can just download one from the internet. Alright, so let's get started. This is going to use a PHP trick, because in PHP, once you access a subroutine or a subfolder in the web server, so example.com/description, it accesses the description folder. So let's name this one YouTube, and we have a new folder. So the browser will access anything inside of this folder if you try and connect to your domain/YouTube or whatever. So we can use this by putting in a file that simply redirects the URL, but you can't just call it anything, because in PHP there's a neat little trick that by accessing a sub folder or sub page, it looks for an index.php or an index.html file and tries to access that before it accesses anything else. So this is quite useful if you have multiple PHP files on the same directory. So here I have, okay, bad example, I only have the HTML thing here, but if I had a second HTML, because I can't call both files index.html, you have to access the index.html, and we're going to use this. We're going to put in this index file here, and it's very quite easy and self-explanatory. So let me just delete all of this. Boom. All right. So what we have here is it defines PHP, then it sets a variable of the URL. It echoes a text, so you can write in anything, plain text, and that's the text that will appear on the page. I wouldn't go into too much in-depth with CSS or whatever, because it's a redirect page, so preferably you want to write redirecting to and then whatever that specific thing is redirecting to. And then you want to write echo meta http equivalent equals refresh content 1, and then your variable URL. So let's put in the URL https, and don't forget the https. It has to be a complete link. You don't need the www because that's the days of 2005 are over. So do /https or HTTP, depending on if you have SSL or the web page that you are trying to access with this redirect has SSL encryption or not. //u2.b, that is the short form for YouTube, and then you can say redirecting to YouTube homepage. I can't spell. While entering anything here, you always have to have at the end of the line a semicolon, always. Otherwise it just won't work. So save it, exit out of your program, and drop the file in here. Transfer is finished, and now you can just go ahead and open your favorite web browser. Mine takes a bit longer to load, actually. What's going on here? Okay, interesting. So, alright. Then you can just enter .me, that's my domain, / YouTube, that's what we called it. Ooh, that didn't work. Why didn't that work? / YouTube, did I spell it right? Wrong? Oh, there we go. Okay, so redirecting to YouTube homepage, and boom. There are all of the videos. So you can do this for any domain, and it's almost instant. The redirecting is almost instant. Let's change this to example.com. Save it, exit out of it, put it back in here. Overwrite, and then go back to / YouTube. I spelled it again, and then it redirects to example.com. The redirect is pretty fast, it's clean, it's neat, it's very cool. You don't really need to add a favicon, but if you do want it, make sure it's in this format, favicon.ico. That's an icon file type, and if you just download it, there it is. So I can also put this in here. It should work. / YouTube, and then there we go. The favicon just appeared up there if you saw it. So yeah, that's pretty much the most simple redirect page ever, really. It's the file is very small, so even if you have limited storage space on your web server, this is absolutely perfect. 145 bytes, you can't really mess around with it. So now that we have that out of the way, what's different on a VPS or dedicated? And the only real difference is if you connect to a web server, you automatically get put on the page where all of the HTML stuff and the PHP stuff is loaded. On a dedicated server, or a VPS, this is a VPS, you get put in the root file because you get root access. If you go back to back one, you'll get all of these files, and you'll be back to square one again, the /. So how do you access the HTTP? You go to var, www, and HTML, and there you have all of your files. You know you've landed on the right page when you see the htaccess file. That is the dead giveaway, really, that this is the correct page. And here, this is also a functional web server. Let's just put in /example, and then enter the directory, drag and drop the index.php. Always remember, it has to be an index.php. Then we go to julicosis.com/example, and it redirects to example domain. Very nice and simple. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. If you want some more tutorials regarding this matter or another matter, just be sure to hit down in the comments below. So I'll see you guys later. Cheers.